Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hold on. Remove the garbage. We have an absolute gorgeous day outside. End of November here. Wow, is it beautiful out. It's got to be in the 50s, maybe even the 60s in the sun. So we're going to take advantage and we're going to go ahead and get these new leaf springs spray painted because I didn't get a chance to get to them because it got so cold so quickly since we did that video. Make sure you guys stay tuned for this coming next week here. We've got the interview with WCfab LLC. We've got the traction bars we're going to be picking up. So a lot of things are happening very quickly here and I'm very excited. We've got some parts that came in for the LB7. Again, very excited. So stay tuned for all that. We are simply just going to go with the old 55, the same exact paint that we used on that rear axle. All right, so we are dealing with a lot of wind here, unfortunately, but here you can see the nice gloss finish that we are going to have versus the matte finish or whatever kind of finish that is that comes from this factory. It says it's rust proof, but we all know it's not going to be, so we're going to go ahead and coat these with this nice tractor implement paint that works really, really well. So we're going to go ahead, it's kind of like an epoxy paint, I think, I'm not sure, but anyways, it works really well. So we're going to go ahead, get the other one coated, let it dry, flip it over, coat the other side. All right, so as we let that dry, ooh, hold on. You're on the GoPro, you're back on the GoPro. You're back on the GoPro for this episode, you guys. You're not on the new camera, unfortunately, so sorry about that. It was dead, but have a backup, really nice. But as this dries, make sure you guys go ahead to the podcast. I'm on Spotify, I'm on Buzzsprout. Make sure you go check out the podcast. I had one episode last week. It was kind of funny. I made it on wrenches and high quality versus low quality, all that kind of stuff. And then I made that icon video of the multi-spline extractor set from Harbor Freight, which is a great deal, by the way. And I had comments on TikTok that went crazy. You know, it's got 100-some thousand views. And comments on TikTok of, oh, garbage, junk, just buy Snap-on, buy this, buy that. And it's funny how that happened literally a day after I just got talking about know the person, know the situation, and understand whether someone needs to buy cheap tools or expensive tools. I thought it was very ironic that that started happening literally right after my first podcast episode on a completely different platform. So it's funny how that just circles around. But like I said, I'm on Spotify, DIY Diesel. Check it out, subscribe, follow, please. One podcast a week. This week we're going to be covering winter gelling and stuff like that, what you should use. So stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead, get another coat. So I'm not gonna lie, I do find it kind of funny in regards to spray painting this. I've had a few comments of, oh, he's just doing the SEMA build quality. He's just doing the YouTube quality, Instagram quality, picture stuff and everything like that. You guys know what I'm doing. I'm not doing that. I'm simply just adding a little bit extra protection to this truck as I can. I'm not going crazy with it. I'm not doing some frame moss restoration. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just simply trying to make it a little bit better for the truck, take care of the truck, keep it going, keep it running, things like that. I'm not building some massive fancy build. I'm doing all this not only just for myself, but for you guys, and because it's just gonna make the truck last a little bit longer. You know, it's not gonna be perfect by no means, and I don't expect it to be perfect as I'm just doing this in my driveway. But at least you guys can see that if I can do it, you guys most certainly can do it, especially because I'm up here in the north and dealing with the different types of weather that we get. I mean, we got like 6 inches of snow in the last month or something like that. It's insane. It's been the first time in my life that I've seen it snow so much so early in Wisconsin. And now all of a sudden we're super nice and warm and windy as hell. As you can see, I'm spray painting really close. But again, I'm doing this just simply to give that extra protection that this truck needs in our Wisconsin winters and stuff like that. I do plan on replacing my hubs, so don't worry about that. But like I said, I'm just trying to give it that extra protection. It's not gonna be perfect by no means. I have some paint dripping already. I'm not in the best scenario here. I don't have a shop. I have my garage, but it's just not what it should be. Set up for something like this. You be quiet back there. So I'm literally just doing... The funny thing is I actually know one of the guys that drives the train by my house. That's not him because he's a lot more obnoxious with the horn, saying hi. But anyways, I'm just simply showing you guys that if I can do it, you can do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you're happy with what you're doing, that's all that really matters. So now we gotta wait for this to dry, and then once this paint has dried, we're gonna go ahead and flip it over and do 2 coats on the other side. Fingers crossed that it stays nice out, because otherwise that's gonna really suck if it gets dark. Let's see, what time is it now? It is 1:15 right now. 1:15, if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that. Struggles of the YouTuber life and all that kind of creative life, and Wisconsin. So we have about 3 hours left of daylight, decent daylight. So hopefully this dries and we can get the second coat on, the first coat and second coat on the other side, and get these leaf springs ready to go. All right, so the leaf springs are pretty tacky right now. So we're gonna go ahead, get them flipped over. We're gonna use some cardboard here, try and get these things flipped over onto the cardboard, and then put it back on the wood blocks. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not too worried about final finish. I just wanna add that little nice layer of protection, and I can always do some touch up at the end. For those of you that know, these things are pretty heavy. I don't know what they weigh, but they are heavy as shit. So doing this by myself is definitely kind of a pain, but I think I'm getting it figured out. I'm pretty excited. By the way, if you can't tell already, the sun is already starting to go down. Look at that. It's definitely on its way down. So again, one of the hard things about myself and in the winter and being in Wisconsin, not only dealing with the cold for YouTube video, but also the amount of daylight I get. Oh. It's currently 2:57. And before earlier in the video, if you noticed, it was 1:15, and you can tell the difference in the daylight at that point in time. So, oh well, it's just one of those things. Old 55 gloss black. Let's go one. All right, so we're ready for round two, and I tell you right now, I'm very curious to see if you guys in the comments are noticing the major change that is going on in the truck right now. I'm not mentioning it in the video at all until now, so I'm very curious to see if you guys are noticing that change. All I gotta say is I hope that you guys can see the difference in what these leaf springs are doing right now, because these look way better in that gloss black than they do that other color. They're not perfect, like I said. I've got some dripping spots, but I'm not too worried about that because they are gonna flex and everything. So every year I'm gonna have to kind of do some touch up and stuff on it, but we'll talk about that in a later date. I want to know if you guys noticed the change that I was talking about right before we did that last coat, because that change that I currently made that I didn't talk about, that I will talk about soon, we're gonna discuss why I decided to do that, because it's gonna have to deal with the Wisconsin winters. So stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Old 55 is the paint. Tune into the podcast if you want to listen to anything that we are talking about, whether it's on the channel. We're gonna go ahead and kind of take all the content that I have out there across all the platforms, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and as well as the new podcast. It's all gonna kind of come together as one. So make sure you follow me on a lot of the platforms, because like I said, it all kind of goes together, and that's kind of the experience I'm gonna try and make you guys. The podcast this week, we're gonna talk about winter gelling. We're gonna talk about winter fluids that you can add and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. I'm excited about these leaf springs. We'll talk about what just happened back there in another video, so stay tuned for that. Have yourselves a great night. Oh yeah, merchandise, merch plug, website, link below. Definitely get some merchandise, please, please, please. It helps support the channel. Without supporting the channel, I wouldn't be able to do things like this. So thank you to everyone that does support the channel through the website link and the merchandise. I'll have more coming in the future. Have yourselves a great night.